Hello and welcome to lyra.com, and today we're gonna talk about high blood pressure, and we're gonna clean up some of the misconceptions about blood pressure. We're gonna explain to you exactly why you develop high blood pressure, what goes on in your body, and of course, as always, in the second part of the presentation, we're gonna present to you some very powerful natural remedies and supplements that will help you maintain a healthy blood pressure. So without further ado, let's dive right in and learn more about how to manage your high blood pressure naturally. And the first thing we need to talk about is what is high blood pressure. And many people believe this is a disease, but it is actually not a disease. It is just a symptom. And therefore, to regulate the high blood pressure, you must find the real causes. And high blood pressure and all other cardiac disorders are an expression of imbalances, many of which are related to our lifestyle, so meaning chemicals, so nutrition, hydration, whether you smoke or not, how much you drink, alcohol, heavy metal burdens, toxins, drugs and medications, how much sugar you take in, as well as wheat poisoning. Then we have the emotional levels like stress, depressions, traumas, psychological shocks, and burnout syndromes. And then we have the third physical level, which is your age, of course, your family history of high blood pressure, medical conditions that you're suffering from, a lack of physical exercise, whether you are overweight or not, kidney conditions, as well as hormonal imbalances. And most of the cardiovascular disorders are a result of blood imbalances, and only very few are caused by real damages of your myocardium and atherosclerosis. High blood pressure is a lifestyle issue, therefore, first and foremost, that is manifesting either by an increased or a too low blood pressure. Next, we need to understand the connection between high blood pressure and your blood quality. So your blood is characterized by a specific chemical composition. It has a very narrow pH range, an optimal content of carbon dioxide and blood viscosity, and changes to these parameters leads to a surplus or a deficiency of chemical components, carbon dioxide, acidity, and stress that will change your blood pressure. So examples are, for example, if you are not well hydrated, your blood viscosity will increase and the heart will have to increase the blood pressure to be able to pump the blood through all of your vessels and maintain a good circulation and cell oxygenation. Second example would be that there are 4 important electrolytes that support the life of all of the cells in your body, which are sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. And imbalances between these 4 elements will also unregulate the blood pressure and your cardiac rhythm. A third example would be the blood pH value that supports life in general and must be always in a very narrow window of between 7.35 and 7.45 pH. And this is controlled by the carbon dioxide content in your blood, which must always be at 6.5 equal to a minimum of 35, preferably 40 millimeters in the mercury column. And the same carbon dioxide controls the blood vessels dilation and constriction, as well as the wall stiffness of your blood vessels. Let's talk a little bit more about blood viscosity and how it relates to your blood pressure, because this is very important. Blood viscosity is a measurement of the thickness and stickiness of your blood first, to make you better understand what it means. And blood viscosity changes as a function of the so-called shear rate. So when the blood moves quickly, as in a peak systole, it is physically thinner, while when it moves slower during the end diastole, it is thicker and stickier. and this is because the red cells aggregate more under the systole pressure. Normal adult blood viscosity is 40/100 and is reported in units of millipoise. Blood viscosity is also correlated with all known risk factors for cardiovascular diseases. So elevated blood viscosity is a strong predictor of cardiovascular events. Blood viscosity depends mainly on your hydration, also the water quality and of course the quantity. The major electrolyte content that we talked about already shortly, which are magnesium, sodium, potassium and calcium. Blood plasma, the amniotic fluid and the ocean water contain the same 92 chemical elements, and this is also the best chemical composition for your blood plasma. To maintain an optimal blood viscosity, of course, first and foremost, you need to be well hydrated, and you also need to achieve this saline water chemical composition. And therefore we recommend to take in daily about 4 to 5 times 3 to 5 coarse crystals of Himalaya or Celtic sea salt, because this type of salts have all the 92 chemical elements that your blood needs, and have of course a glass of water with it. And you swallow down the crystals without crunching them. In only 2 minutes, all of these beneficial electrolytes and trace elements will get to your cells, and your heart will return to its optimal working capabilities. If you are still recommended by the doctor to take blood thinners, we recommend that you take grapeseed extract, also called OPC, and nattokinase, which is an enzyme which is one from soy, which are both tremendous natural blood thinners, and they will both optimize the capillary blood circulation. And like this, you will never get cold feet and hands again. And of course, grapeseed extract and nattokinase are both lower risk and have very few side effects, and they are way better therefore than all of the mainstream medical solutions that you find at your doctor. What about carbon dioxide levels in our blood? How does this affect our blood pressure? Well, as we all know, carbon dioxide is a byproduct of the respiration that generated in the lungs, and it must be available in your blood at a concentration of 6.5% or 40 millimeters. If you have a lower carbon dioxide content below 35 millimeters, that will make your blood more acidic and will constrain your blood vessels. And in this way, many metabolic pathways will be disturbed, and your brain creates a new pattern on a lower carbon dioxide content, and this will make you eventually sick, and you will develop multiple chronic diseases or morbidity state, which is all, as you see, related also to your CO2 concentration in your blood. And to generate and store this optimal carbon dioxide quantity, you must first and foremost breathe correctly. What does this mean? Exhalation must be completed slowly in 25 to 30 seconds, preferably 40 to 50 seconds. Inhalation must be silent and short in 5 to 8 seconds. In air, of course, there is 4 times more oxygen than our body needs. Compared to this 5% oxygen in your blood with 21% oxygen in the air, thus your inhalation must be short. Breathing must be driven by the diaphragm, not by your upper chest. Breathing must also be done only through the nose, because breathing through the mouth lowers the carbon dioxide in your blood and sustains oxidative stress. When stressors trigger the central nervous system to change its biochemistry, the first reaction will be to constrict the blood vessels to reduce the flow of CO2, and this is felt as chest tightness, or you cannot catch your breath and you have a short breath, or you hyperventilate even, and many times this is unfortunately wrongly diagnosed as asthma. When the blood vessels are constricted above the normal level, the heart must increase the pumping energy, of course, to compensate for these additional friction forces, and this is then felt as high blood pressure. Your central nervous system, your autonomous nervous system, will give the command to hold your breath in to accumulate more CO2, so you will have apnea at night, and these patterns are detrimental to heart activity and result also in increased blood pressure. Next, the oxygen levels in your blood must be ideal. So the blood is loaded with hemoglobin, and 4 atoms of oxygen are traveling to the cells using the hemoglobin carriers. This forms an imaginary train that shows those 4 atoms of oxygen being loaded into one hemoglobin carriage at a pH of 7.45, and those are released to the cells at a pH of 7.35, and the conductor of this train is carbon dioxide. So if there are not enough conductors, so to speak, so not enough CO2 in your blood, the oxygen will not be released to your cells. And by changing the messages to the brain that there is enough CO2, so breathing, as we described in the previous slide, the cells will get better oxygenation, your body will buffer the blood acidity better, and you will be more relaxed, and you will sleep also much better. Therefore, your auto-regulation processes will clean the rest of the out of balance processes out, and you will get into a healing phase. Another very important supplement that you must take to maintain an ideal blood pressure are the vitamins D3 together with K2. We all know that in our Western civilizations today, everybody almost is suffering from arteriosclerosis. The arterial plaque is created by many detrimental habits that we have, such as eating too much GMO foods, especially also wheat and sugar poisoning, lack of physical exercise, stress and emotional burdens, vaccines, alcohol and smoking, mercury and yeast overloads, and microparasitical infections. And for artery maintenance, both the LDL and the HDL cholesterol are needed. HDL cholesterol is the carrier and LDL cholesterol is the repairer or the rebuilder. It is therefore not recommended to intervene in any way in the synthesis of cholesterol. When your cholesterol level goes up, it is because of extensive cellular repair that your body needs to carry out. So don't worry about too high cholesterol levels. Cholesterol is synthesized in your liver under the influence of vitamin D3 and K2, and therefore you must supplement with those two vitamins at the level of 10,000 to 50,000 units per day. And of course, take always vitamin D3 together with K2 as they supplement each other perfectly, and they help each other penetrate your system and get into your bloodstream faster and easier. And those two vitamins are very, very important for lowering your blood pressure as well. We also recommend that you supplement with coenzyme Q10 and l-carnitine if you're suffering from blood pressure issues. Why? Because coenzyme Q10 and its reduced form called ubiquinol are among the most important supplements for your heart. Coenzyme Q10 secures the heart cell's protection and mitochondrial respiration, and of course we know that the heart is the organ with the highest number of mitochondria. Effective mitochondrial function relies on a variety of cofactors, including L-carnitine, alpha-lipoic acid, and coenzyme Q10. And coenzyme Q10 is of particular interest because it not only supports the mitochondrial respiratory chain, but it also acts as a very powerful antioxidant in your mitochondrial membranes. Coenzyme Q10 is a fat-soluble antioxidant, meaning it works in your body's fat zones, such as the cell membranes, where it mops up their metabolism's harmful byproducts. Taking the supplement helps you therefore protect your mitochondrial membranes from oxidative damages And this in turn is very helpful for a number of health conditions and chronic diseases that are all rooted in this mitochondrial dysfunction. So low coenzyme Q10 levels have even been detected in people with certain types of cancer, including lung, breast and pancreatic cancer, as well as melanoma metastasis, which further strengthens their metabolic theory of cancer. Ubiquinol is the fully reduced version of coenzyme Q10, and the conversion of coenzyme Q10 to ubiquinol is part of the process that allows your body to convert food into energy. Ubiquinol is the only fat-soluble antioxidant that is actually generated within your body and does not need to be obtained from food, but the downside is that by the time you hit your 30s, your body starts to produce less and less of it. And with the aging process, many therefore start losing their ability to convert coenzyme Q10 into ubiquinol, and this is why ubiquinol is typically recommended for older people, while younger people can do quite well by just taking coenzyme Q10. Important nutrients and cofactors for the mitochondrial function include therefore CoQ10, l-carnitine and alpha-lipoic acid, and we recommend to combine the coenzyme Q10 therapy with up to 4 grams per day of L-carnitine in order to fully support your blood pressure regulative processes. Another very important supplement is so-called L-arginine. The scientific research is rife with studies supporting the benefits of L-arginine to your cardiovascular health from just about every angle, as the following table below shows. Studies also show that L-arginine helps your endothelial cells create enough nitric oxide to promote optimal blood flow and cardiovascular health in general. Unfortunately, nitric oxide signaling declines with age, and if you are a healthy adult, your body will produce about 4 grams of L-arginine per day, but by the time you reach your 50s, normally you as an adult will be already arginine deficient, especially if you do not eat meat. And women tend to maintain their ability to produce this important amino acid a little longer than men. After the age of about 40 to 50, you must therefore take in 2 to 4 grams of L-arginine every day. The health benefits you can see in this table: it helps blood vessels relax, it promotes optimal blood flow and epithelial function, it maintains optimal blood pressure, it reduces the coronary artery disease risk, it's good for treatment of heart failure, you get a better recovery after MI, it's good for pulmonary hypertension and hypoxia, etc., etc., etc. So L-arginine, again, a very important supplement. And because good blood circulation is so critical for every tissue and organ in our body, it isn't very surprising that research is revealing a wide range of other health benefits that are related to L-arginine. There are too many scientific studies to list here, but the table on the right highlights some of them. So having adequate L-arginine depends on a number of factors, from age to overall health to nutrition. Other factors that could lead to L-arginine deficiency are not consuming enough protein or not adequately digesting it, having lower antioxidant levels and higher free radical levels. And since also nitric oxide is a gas, you can't just pop a pill to increase your nitric oxide levels. You are very dependent on your body's own synthesis abilities or to form this gas, and the raw materials you take in through nutrition are crucial for that. If you are deficient in L-arginine, you must consider therefore supplementation with L-arginine. Very, very important. And last but certainly not least, in the list of important supplementation you need to consider when you're working at your blood pressure issues or cardiovascular issues in general is called Strophanthine. Strophanthine is also known as uabain and is considered to be the strongest heart elixir known to man. It is all natural. It is one from a kind of African shrub. It has many existential health benefits for the cardiovascular as well as the cerebrovascular system, such as it stimulates your sodium-potassium pump. It stimulates the release of ACH to the myocardium and the central nervous system, so it prevents and supports also the healing of dementia and Alzheimer's at the same time. It stimulates also the production of nitric oxide in your arteries and therefore reduces oxidative stress. It's also stimulating on your atrial natriuretic peptide ANP, which is a hormone that is involved in the natriuresis and the regulation of your renal and cardiovascular homeostasis. It protects your mitochondria against ischemia and reperfusion. It enhances the contracting power of your heart. You will also see a mood improvement. You will feel much better in general, as Strophanthine also triggers many psychotropic effects. It stimulates also the cardiac myocytes, the cholesterol synthesis, and ubiquinol production. It is the best option to treat angina pectoris, heart insufficiency, arrhythmia, and to prevent also heart attacks and strokes. The dosage must be customized for each patient's needs, as there are patients reacting better on a low dosage and others who need a higher dosage. Therefore, again, contact your natural practitioner or call us here at Lyra Nara. We can also help you out with that. 1-888-773-3196. And Strophanthine, by the way, is also by far much more absorbable and less toxic than digitalis that is often prescribed instead. And blood pressure can be efficiently regulated by Strophanthine in combination with all the other recommendations that we presented in the previous slides. All right, time for conclusions. What have we learned? Well, we learned first that blood pressure is a symptom and not a disease, and therefore the real causes must be treated and the blood pressure should not be manipulated. Blood viscosity is best managed by hydrating well and securing the 84 electrolytes and trace elements, from which magnesium is one of the most important ones. We recommend to take daily Himalaya coarse salt crystals with water and eventually add some extra magnesium citrate or glycinate to it. Also, we learned that the carbon dioxide content in your blood is vital, and it must be at 6.5% or 35 to 40 millimeters to secure optimal blood vessel dilation and a pH in the optimal range of 7.35 to 7.45. And to achieve this, we recommend to train your breathing by inhaling silently in 5 to 7 seconds and exhaling slowly in 30 to 50 seconds. Breathing must be only through the nose and must be driven by the diaphragm. Never breathe from your upper chest. Third, we learned that a coenzyme Q10 in combination with l-carnitine are very, very important supplements to secure a sustainable mitochondrial activity and are real food for your heart cells, and therefore we recommend that you take in daily L-carnitine 2 to 4 grams per day and 2 capsules of coenzyme Q10 for elderly people in form of ubiquinol instead of Q10. Fourth, we learned that the vitamin D3 in combination with K2 supports the cholesterol synthesis, which is the building and repairing substance for the arteries and your capillaries, and therefore we recommend that you take in daily 10,000 units of vitamin D3 together with 2 caps of vitamin K2. Strophanthine, again, is a must for the heart, for a healthy heart and circulatory system, to regulate your high blood pressure, to avoid heart events such as heart attacks, angina pectoris, and heart arrhythmia. It has very well been studied. Strophanthine has been proven in medical practice, as well as in many studies it has shown its efficiency over and over again. Don't medicate yourself without any advice. Consult your practitioner, your doctor, and give us a call. We can also help you out with your questions here. 1-888-773-3196. That is 1-888-773-3196. You can also contact us, of course, via email at shop@lyranara.com. I'm gonna post all the contact information also in the description box below. And with that being said, I hope that you've enjoyed this information. If you did so, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. We come out weekly with important health informations like that will help you remain healthy. And with that being said, of course, as always, stay healthy.